Here's some very important breaking news. If you're on an H-1B, you have less than 18 hours to get back into the United States or you're banned. Starting at midnight, September 21st, all H-1B workers who are outside of the United States can't get on an airplane. You won't be allowed back in the U.S. And if you're on an H-1B in the United States, you're okay. Nobody's taking your H-1B away. You're allowed to work. You're allowed to be here. But you're stuck. You can't travel. If you travel, you're not coming back into the U.S. And all new H-1B petitions will not be adjudicated unless you pay $100,000 for that H-1B visa.
Chesley Major. Chesley Major.
That's the policy here, $100,000 a year for H-1B visas, and all of the big companies are on board. We've spoken to them about the gold card.
They love it. They love it. They really love it. They need it.
For the H-1B visa action that you're doing today,
next. We'll talk about that.
You're very close to the technology CEOs. Are they concerned about that?
Everyone's going to be happy, and we're going to be able to keep people in our country that are going to be very productive people. We need workers. We need great workers, and this pretty much ensures that that's what's going to happen. I think, Sean, do you agree with that?
Well, they're $100,000 per year. So the whole idea is no more will these big tech companies or other big companies train foreign workers. They have to pay the government $100,000, then they have to pay the employee. So it's just not economic. If you're going to train somebody, you're going to train one of the recent graduates from one of the great universities across our land. Train Americans, stop bringing in people to take our jobs.
The only exception to all of this is if the U.S. government thinks your work is in the national interest because of your particular job or your industry. So let all the politicking begin. We're going to be saying goodbye to the H-1B program. Trump just changed the rules. If a company is going to sponsor you for an H-1B, either you or the company have to pay the U.S. government $100,000. Why is Trump destroying the H-1B program? Nobody knows for sure. Could take some guesses. One, he doesn't particularly like India. Just put 50% tariffs on India, and 75% of the tech workers who come on H-1Bs are from India. Is that a possibility? He doesn't like Silicon Valley. They seem to lean liberal. They're Democrats. Is that a possibility? And he just rolled out the gold card. He just wants people to invest $1 million and come here and get a green card. He thinks entrepreneurs are the way that we're going to build the United States, not with tech workers. Maybe there's some other reasons too I can't even think of.
At the White House tonight, President Donald Trump signed 2 executive orders. The first establishes what's called the Trump Gold Card as a path for U.S. citizenship for the price of $1 million. The second adds a $100,000 fee to skilled worker visas called H1B worker visas.
The president is framing this as a means to keep Americans employed in jobs here, particularly high-skilled jobs that some tech and science companies have said they've had trouble filling with qualified American citizens. But the president today saying he believes that tech CEOs will support this move. He said now in this executive order, the White House cites H1B visa program abuse that they say replaces U.S. workers. And Elizabeth, this could also be seen as part of President Trump's immigration crackdown. Now, as you mentioned there, this order now requiring a new $100,000 fee for applicants for the program that was created decades ago for foreign workers with college degrees to fill some of these high-skilled jobs. But over the years, critics of the program have said that companies were taking advantage and using it to pay lower wages for these foreign workers with less labor protections. But this program is the most restrictive visa program currently in the U.S., with only about 20% of applicants approved.
Well, meanwhile, Trump posted to social media talking about the first of those 2 executive orders that we talked about, which establishes what's called the Trump Gold Card. He said in part, quote, "Today we are proud to announce the Trump Gold Card. This card will be available for $1 million for individuals and $2 million for corporations." Adding, quote, "We anticipate the Trump Gold Card will generate well over $100 billion very quickly."
Would your employer pay the U.S. government $100,000 just to hire you?
Tech companies scrambled today to get their foreign workers back to the U.S. after President Trump announced a drastic hike in visa fees. It applies to the H1B visa for high-skilled jobs, which previously cost $215. The president's proclamation requires a $100,000 fee. Microsoft, JP Morgan, and Amazon all told their employees on those visas not to leave the country, and if they're currently overseas, to get back by midnight tonight. That's according to internal emails reviewed by Reuters. India and China account for the highest number of H-1B visa applications, and in India, some saw a silver lining to the move.
It's a big hit for the tech talent, but also on the other side, I think it will be good for India because it could be a reverse brain drain in the legs where people can work here.
The Trump administration argues companies use H-1B visas to hire foreign-born workers for cheaper wages.
Meanwhile, in narco land, Trump is blowing up shit again. Target narco terrorists.
Moments ago, President Trump posted on social media that the U.S. military carried out a second strike targeting drug cartels that he says were transporting illegal narcotics to the U.S. The president also posting this video. It follows a similar strike carried out earlier this month in the Southern Caribbean, and it comes as the Trump administration looks to ramp up pressure on the Maduro regime in Venezuela.
There's more where that came from.
We'll see what happens.
There's been a very rapid buildup in the region, which is pretty unprecedented in modern times.
The Trump administration has shown it will use lethal force to combat drug cartels, and it's repeatedly tied Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro to drug trafficking.
It doesn't work. Interdiction doesn't work. What will stop them is when you blow them up, when you get rid of them.
Es una amenaza extravagante, injustificable, inmoral y absolutamente criminal.
In response, Maduro accused the U.S. of preparing to invade and try to topple his government, rallying Venezuelans behind him and even calling up militia members to defend the patria, or fatherland. But tensions escalated sharply when the administration unleashed American firepower for the first time. They released a video of a U.S. strike on what they said was a fast boat trafficking drugs from Venezuela, killing all 11 people on board.
There's more where that came from.
2 weeks later, another strike killed 3 people aboard a vessel in international waters. The administration claimed they were also smuggling illegal narcotics from Venezuela.
So yeah, it's gonna be $100K to work and stay in the USA from now on. The Trump administration has just upped the ante from a ticket that was once anywhere from $250 to $1,000 to now $100K plus for the H1B visa. Looks like Trump's applying more pressure to the immigrant community by making them pay a pretty penny to stay and work in the USA and make you some coins from now on. It is no longer going to be a low, cheap ticket. Now, it's going to be for the high, not the low. Everybody's going to have to come in and drop a bag just to be here and work in America. Now, there will also be a gold card that he's proposing for the price of $1 million to $2 million for expedited path to citizenship for those who can't afford it. So you gotta at least have $100K to even touch the soil and get that H1B visa now. So no $100K, no work and play, unless your employer is willing to pay. I don't think a lot of employers will be willing to pay that $150K for someone. Let's see if they'll pay it. Orange Man said they'll be happy to. Trump seems to think that this is exciting and that the employers will be happy to pay that ticket. I beg to differ. I don't think so. A lot's about to change with the H1B visa. Now you really got to pay to play. Same time, Trump and his administration is applying major pressure to the Maduro regime, going at him with military force. He just hit another boat. A boat carrying fentanyl and all kind of other illicit drugs to this country was taken out. 3 people were unalived on that boat, and Trump said he got more smoke. So as far as Maduro and his narco terrorists go, it's up and it's going down. There's a big change in immigration and in trafficking drugs coming to this country, and it's all being spearheaded by the Trump administration. But guys, that's all I got for today. Let me know what you think about Trump's changes with the H1B visa going from $250 to $100K. Also, let me know what you think about him going head-to-head with Nicolas Maduro and his narco-terrorist group. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to support the channel by clicking that like button down below. Also, you can support the channel by subscribing to the channel if you're not subscribed to the channel. Click that notification bell down below so you'll get a video every time I put out a new one. See you on the next one. Peace. Who that is?
Chesley Major. Chesley Major.
Chesley Major. Chesley Major.
Chesley Major. Chesley Major.